Hey, good morning and welcome to the Wade and Carter Show. Ash Brent on his way, Commander in studio. We are live from the Atzenhofer studio. Glad you're all here. Bobby Leister, Scott Tomko, and Andrew Alvarez on the podium this morning.
Hey, Ash.
Yeah?
I feel like you're missing something on like your right side, maybe on the screen.
He's on his way. Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the great folks at AT Deerlam Hayfeed and Ranch Services. 78 degrees currently in Victoria, heading to a high today of 93. Today looks like a day where the chance of rain are as slim as it's been all week. So they're calling for about a 5% chance of rain, just the old CYA chance from the National Weather Service. Get over to Deerlam Feed for all you need for with the rains we've had this week. The mosquitoes are probably going to be bad, so Deerlam has what you need for mosquitoes. If you want to spray your yard, you can go to one of the big box stores and get some stuff, but the stuff that they've got at Deerlam way better than any of those well-known brand names that work okay, but this will work even better.
You need like an
Funky Trey Molina, Patrick Strauss Jr., Ricky King, Cody Bauman.
Yeah, I got it.
You got in there today. Tammy Keeling, Scott Snow. Good morning, Marina. Daniel Wade White checking in. Thanks for joining us this morning. Where to start? President Trump with a primetime address yesterday. There's Lisa Poole and Clayton Helt. Yesterday, Richard Rodriguez, good morning. The president declassified a bunch of election intel files and primetime address last night to announce that and talk about some foreign influence and the threat on U.S. elections. A lot of it not really new, talking about the shocking vulnerabilities, but we've known about those vulnerabilities for quite a while. Apparently, China illegally obtained about 220 million voter files, according to the president last night. That may have been the most shocking revelation in the entire primetime address. What's interesting, though, is curious as to how China got him, because you and I can probably buy the voter information. States routinely sell it. But apparently they have names, addresses. But here's probably, they can get voter information. I don't know if they can get voting information, but apparently that's what he says China has obtained. They have 220 million voter files, including voting history and party affiliation.
Brent looks real bad today. If that was Brent, he looks real bad, real rough.
Yeah, I don't know if somebody's saying, I don't know, that there's some technical difficulties. I don't know.
I just checked on Facebook. It looked good.
Yeah,
I'll do a little research.
Everything over there looks like it's good. So
okay, I'll research. You do the show.
So, but this is a primetime address on basically on the SAVE Act, saying that we've got to pass this thing.
It looks good, Ash.
But I think that's the most alarming, is that China now has your voter history. And we know China's been involved in influencing elections. They have used. Good morning.
Do you think that that's so, honestly, that when China does their ground invasion, they have to assume they would encounter the most resistance in the South and from Republicans? Is that so they can round us all up and slaughter us? I'm being as sincere as I can be. Why else would you
I don't
want
think they have-
voter files?
Yeah, I don't think they have to. I mean, I think the red states and the blue states are pretty obvious.
Well, they're not going to turn our hearts and minds,
No.
and they wouldn't want to kill everybody.
But I think they want the voter history records. I mean, blackmail people. The CCP is here.
I'll tell people you voted Republican.
Maybe.
Did you see the ne'er-do-well in the lobby?
Yes, I
That
did.
might be my fault.
He just texts me. It is your fault.
But you can feel free to come on over here, Junior. By the way, just so you know, the seamless transition from Magic 95.9 into the Wade and Carter program does not exist. I first heard you when you were saying something about the National Weather Service. There was no introduction to the program. There was no
Yeah, we didn't do any of that.
good
today.
morning. No, but it's like he didn't start the program. The National Weather Service, so he didn't start mid-weather report. And I was listening to Grupo Vidal, their raucous hit, Besos Temidos, which
Well, I called
think,
Lilo and let him know what's
I
going
think
on.
Besos Temidos means scared kisses.
Well, the other day we were told we were about a minute off on our clock and the clock over there. So I've been starting it a minute earlier, and maybe Lilo made an adjustment, and now
I
we're
have no
completely
idea.
whacked
It-
out.
It
I don't
clicks
know.
on automatically over there,
But,
but
yeah.
I let him know what was
Yeah.
going on.
So,
anyway.
well,
I came in for one thing. I heard there
I
was an
got you
opening.
there. You're. This is a real program. There's a
Cool.
camera there. And here's the deal.
Bite me.
I brought you in. You didn't come in for any reason. I brought you
Yes,
in
you did.
because I wanted you to just be able to, give him grief one more time.
Well, I heard there
in
was an
studio.
opening, and I came in to put an application in
Yeah,
for
well.
Sidekick. And
There's
You
not.
want to
Yes,
see
so-
discrimination? You just go ahead. You
Hey,
got that in file 13 over there. don't
Right,
you,
right,
Cody?
right.
this
Put
is
that
definitely
app-
not
put
an
that
equal
application
opportunity
in.
employment.
Here's your application right here.
Right. Put that in his file next to his military record.
HR
Hey,
file.
my military record is impeccable.
Exemplary.
That's right.
No,
So-
but
Now, I just came in basically to tell you we're going to miss the hell out of you. So
I'm not. I mean, I'm.
in studio.
in studio,
He'll still
I mean,
be here.
Ash and I talk probably once a week on the phone.
He
and-
tries to miss
and,
that.
and he ignores me. I know it goes to ignore on a few times, but that's probably because he's in deep conversation with somebody else, and
Right. Himself. He's
I'm-
talking to himself and
I'm-
couldn't answer.
you know the
I
voices
run out
in
with
his
a
head are
bag.
pretty
I
accurate.
run out with a bag to scoop dog poop when I see Junior calls
This sounds better.
which,
Well, I'm
which
glad
is-
I have a priority.
in
there.
Riverside Park.
yeah, he little baby steps.
You're always such a good person for this community.
Right. He takes baby steps. I'm going to clean it up one park at a time. Ricky King asked the question, where is Ash going? Ash is going to Oklahoma Panhandle State University in
Well,
Goodwill.
Goodwell, Oklahoma.
It's like a whole different country.
It is.
okay. Oklahoma is kind of shaped like the rear end of a dog,
Right.
and that area is just right under the tail.
It's a tail.
Yeah, the little panhandle
Yeah.
that goes
Oh,
over
it's
to the
on the
left,
tail.
right
It's not
for a
under it.
reason.
Yeah.
But
Apparently, very good pheasant hunting. There's some good fishing up that way.
Oh yeah, the pheasant hunting is
Um,
incredible.
it's gonna, all you will see on Monday is there'll be a split screen here, like here, and
Yeah.
Ash will still be here.
Yeah.
And those of you that are listening on Magic 95.9,
You won't notice the difference.
You won't even notice the difference.
You'll still hear my voice. The golden tones.
The golden
Right. The
tones.
melodious.
Maybe Tuesday. We need to let him get settled.
So
he'll be here Monday.
I'll figure it out.
I've already told him that his day job is not my problem.
That's correct.
I mean, and nor is it our audience's problem. It's-
Apparently, this
if
this
you
morning
want to
show
go off
is-
to college, you're still going to have to work.
You're going
Yeah.
to have separation anxiety, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah.
so
So
Yeah. Matt Boucher sums it up. Ash, congrats on the AD position. Victoria is worse off without you.
absolutely.
All the best. And God bless you. I agree
thanks, Matt.
100%.
Appreciate you.
And it's made me aware. I'm fortunate that I skip the HR function. You might say I sub that out at
Exactly.
my place, but I am keenly aware of how decisions that people make don't just trickle down, they come down the riverbed like Camp Mystic.
Yeah.
Things that people decide, spur of the moment. Oh, I think I'll make a change. Those changes affect lots of people. And
Exactly.
now the current regime at A&M Victoria that made a decision very early on. Oh, well, it's going to go a different direction. And Ash was relieved of his duties.
Absolutely.
That absolutely impacts my program.
Yep.
It impacts this community, how we operate, impacts his family. And it's made me aware that people are more than, I know they're not. I know we're all expendable, replaceable. Even me on this program, something you should think about, Ash,
We have a plan already.
is that
There's a
Wade
sec-
and Cody.
There's a succession plan.
But
Wade and Caleb.
Caleb Shaw would never stoop to doing this. The idea is, even though people are interchangeable to a degree and expendable, there are consequences. It affects people.
Well, I want to just set you at ease. I'm not going anywhere, and I'm always available.
That's
Linda
better.
increases my
And we know
arsenic
that.
dose.
We've known that for years.
We've known that for years. And to a degree, not quite to the level of Jack Nicholson in A Few Good Men, but it provides a certain comfort to know that Junior's there. If things ever get that bad, we could always
There are certain
Call it
levels
the
you
last day of the show.
If
and let
things
it
ever
in.
get that bad,
As a swan
kids are
song,
hiding
Cody.
under their desks in elementary schools.
Cody, as a
Hey, I
swan
remember those
song,
days.
as a swan
Right,
song,
it would be
we
our
bring
last
in
show
Junior.
for sure.
If you ever tune in and it's announced that Junior Samples is our new co-host, you will know that is the last broadcast.
We're on our way out.
We're done.
There you go. Well, hey, it's
I will-
always good to see you. Thank you for
I will
shining
exit
by.
But I just
And-
wanted to come in and say, Ash, you know, you always have a cold beer at my house. So you're probably going to have to bring it. But
He's just, I swear,
I'm
he
flustered
can't leave.
today.
look at that.
quick
He already,
enough.
he's throwing
Oh, he
dots at
just
it
threw
already.
coffee all over the monitor. It's all over the keyboard. He's trying to leave me
It
with
is.
challenges.
Well, you know, it's hard to leave you.
You know, we get ratioed for using music on our program that
Yeah.
we don't own. Do you think that My Way by Frank Sinatra is going to trigger a few people?
Nobody cares. It's
Yeah.
fine. Play the whole thing.
Some old guy from the 40s.
There it is. It's gone.
In Ethiopia.
The mood is gone. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get out of
I
here.
caught this pretty quickly.
I'm heading
I'll
off to
fix
go
it
take
later.
care of some business over at Bob's house. So
Hey, we love you. Be
appreciate
well.
you guys.
Thanks for all you
Junior.
do for Bob
Appreciate your
Constantine.
friendship, man.
Yep. We'll see you.
That's more important is your friendship.
Bye, bro. I'll call you, Rob. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, I saw Rob yesterday. I said, you know, you ought to just come by. And in Rob's defense, he's the best sport, not a good
Yeah,
sport, the
no,
best sport.
Ash, do we need a mop or a
No,
towel?
maybe a couple paper towels.
And he
but
just
we're all
said,
right,
you know, I don't ever just show up. And I said, no, I know you don't. But I said, tomorrow I'm inviting you. We went through the formality of, why don't you just come on by? So,
no, that's too heavy. I
no,
think.
we can't use the bear.
Yeah, no.
We can't use the bear.
Andrew Alvarez says Junior is to Victoria what Earl is to that little town in the movie Tremors.
Right? Allen's Wrecker Service can clean up this wreck. 578-6300. Let Allen's be your go-to to. Feel free just to massage that
will.
keyboard and that coffee milk that you spilled. Allen's will come to wherever you are. If you're in the No Bull Network, just reach out. 578-6300. Went Services went for all your electrical needs. Whether you just need something as simple as a new drop-down plug in a garage or barn, or if you need new ballast, you want to change out your lighting to LED lighting,
You got a bad breaker. They'll fix that
they
for you
can
too.
fix it all. You know what? You just made me think of something. I went out the other day, and I think if effectively they use the equivalent of like a molly bolt to hold my electric box onto the brick wall on the side of my house.
Yep.
And the top one has given out, and the thing's just kind of hanging there. Could be important. I think I'm
Might
gonna call
be
Wimp for that.
important.
Put a little spray foam in the hole and shove it back in.
There you go. Well,
all you need to do.
Wimp will probably do that. You know, $150. Power Vita Wellness and the Vita Cafe. What are you doing later, Cody? Vita Cafe saying, hey, come on in today. It's Lisa Pool Friday. Get in there and get the freshest meals with no gluten, no preservatives. Great fare at Power Vita Wellness. Pick it up for the weekend. You can freeze it if you don't eat it, and it's great food. And then USA Foundation Repair. Let's talk about USA Concrete Coatings.
Let's talk about them.
If you've got an old pool deck that's just not exciting, I saw an ad for a home the other day, and it just needed something. The pool looked dated. Well, the hole in the ground doesn't look dated. It's that coping around the side that looks like Saltillo tile that just went out of style in the 80s. All you have to do is get with USA Concrete Coatings. They'll come out and they'll jazz it up with a tough coating that won't fade or peel or do anything. Don't worry, housekeeping will be in here in a couple of hours.
Won't crack, stick, peel, or fade either.
Well, now that Junior's gone, can I just – it is very rare because I love to do this program. I do. And it was never a burden, right? We never did it because it was going, well, I guess somebody's got to do it. There's a gap to be filled.
And to be honest, if it ever gets to that point, you and I are probably done with this shit.
Yeah, and we don't do it for the money.
No.
I will say that I do believe that the effort has been blessed because the show has always cash flowed. We have never once.
No, it's been a nice side hustle.
We've never come out of our pocket though to do the show.
No.
It's always somebody's always. I go back to the earliest days. Brent Goen and Steve Argubright.
Saw Brent yesterday at Veracruz.
Oh, just said, how can we help?
Me, but I waved to him.
Yeah, and that's the way he likes it. He really doesn't like you. But they stepped up from the very beginning. John Paul Hull, back with the Razor IT Solutions days, always stepped up. And now, even today with this space.
I think they probably had more faith in us
than we
to
did
pull this off
ourselves.
than we did ourselves. Because we go back to those first few.
We were terrible.
We weren't good.
So that's why.
So maybe when we got removed, it wasn't good radio.
No, and the reality, well, yeah, but the potential was always there.
No, the potential was
short-sighted. I think that's why those of you that know me, like Norm Burgess checking in right there, I'll cut up with you. But there was a time that I think we struggled with a little bit of self-doubt. Like, should we keep doing this? Should we be doing it? But we knew that the need was there. So, when you hear me say, hey, this is the best radio program anywhere, that's mostly verbal assuage back to the days when we just fumbled around. And now we fumble around with purpose.
Yeah.
And
we still have some
it's
issues.
different.
But
it's bizarre to me that had Riker not come over and said, I got to pee, I would still be asleep. I woke up at 6:44 this morning, which is just unheard of. I typically wake up before the alarm.
And you and I have a goofy little tradition where we try to beat each other in the New York Times Wordle. And you usually have that in my phone by like 5:30 in the morning.
You noticed I had not wordled this morning?
And that's when I got worried, to be honest.
That's how
I can call earlier.
No, that'll be when Ash decides to speak at my funeral, which obviously is the natural succession. A parent should never have to bury their child. Ash will no doubt say, I knew something was wrong when I didn't get the wordle.
For the last 5 days. I didn't check on them.
Now that it's done, who uses the word Shaw in a
Shaw? Nobody.
PSHAW.
Yeah, if you're playing the archive spoiler
That was
alert.
yesterday. Who does that? Nobody does that.
No, yesterday's was not Pshaw. Yesterday's was Butte.
Was it?
I didn't get it. I forgot to play yesterday.
I think I did too.
Anyway, so there, I just spoiler alert.
Yeah, well, that's yesterday. That's yesterday's news.
I was going to play it later.
But was there, I don't know if you watched any of the Trump primetime address yesterday and
I did not.
about the SAVE Act. I didn't get a lot of, aside from China acquiring our voter files.
Did he not have much to say?
Not really. But I think what it does is allows them to probably target their Facebook ads, because let's not forget, in the last couple of elections, China and Chinese influenced actors have spent hundreds of millions on false information on social media to try to influence voters. And that's where I think this happens. They pointed out the vulnerabilities that we've known about in our aging election systems. You go back to paper ballots, there's no vulnerabilities online. They can't hack in to a computer system and try to alter votes, as were the claims yesterday that some of these programs that are being used around the country are vulnerable to being hacked and results could be changed.
There you go. I just did the Wordle.
So
It usually takes me about 45 seconds.
So, yeah, I don't know, but
I don't know why they would want your voter files. And as we've discussed, folks, spoiler alert, I can buy your voter files.
But you can't buy my voting record. You can buy my information.
Well, I
But
can buy what primary you voted in.
I don't know that you can buy that. It's accessible. You don't have to buy it. I think the Secretary of State provides that information. You can find out which primary you voted in or registered to vote in.
I have it already.
But
you don't have to get
You
it.
can't, but you don't know which candidates I voted for.
True. I do know that one year you voted for that libertarian. I just laughed.
I've self-admitted that one.
It's so funny.
But he starts off as he always does, and this is the part that's getting old.
It's the
Here's
greatest
transcript.
president ever. The country's so super hot. We're the hottest country anywhere. 4 years ago, we were dead, bad.
You didn't even watch it. That was basically
Yeah,
what he
no,
does.
it is a tired act. I told my son-in-law, Jared, fine guy, Jew. He's a Jew. Jared, I said, Jared, we're doing all we can. We've tried peace every way. Greatest country on the planet. I do get tired of it. I do. It's very P.T. Barnum-ish. Who would be calling us from Kingsville?
I don't know.
I'm probably not going to answer that right now. If you're calling me from Kingsville, text me. I'll just tell them, who is this?
Linda Chris has had to say maybe a good thing that the 2020 election was fraudulent. That would be the only way we would ever know how bad the cheating and interference really are. And that's true. I mean, you and I have pointed out the glaringly obvious numbers that voted for Joe Biden in 2020 that just seemingly, it makes no sense. The anomaly through COVID makes no sense. But I think we've got to get back to paper ballots. I think early elections, early voting period it goes on way too long. And Texas is now 2 weeks? I think there's some states where that period is a month.
Well, it just go back to what things were pre-COVID. It was never a problem. Oh, okay. I didn't know that was you. Now I know it was you. If you want to call back, call back. You have that other connector?
Yeah.
So yeah, you've got to, I don't know where it went.
There it is.
You got to wonder, why people want your voting info. I don't know. The president, folks, it's
No,
just,
I think hard to say for sure, but I think China knows who you vote for.
yeah. And who cares? I mean, I don't know why they want to know. Andrew, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here. How y'all doing?
Good. We're
Good.
joined by Andrew Alvarez.
Cool.
Cool cat. What's up, brother? Talk to me.
Hey, voter files, because I've got a bit of experience looking at those. In fact, I think I still have 500,000 names in voter files that I've collected from my runs, my campaigns. They're pretty detailed. They show you your voting tendency, your name, your address, your phone number, all of that, your birthday even.
So if you had the desire,
They can buy all that on the dark web from AT&T vulnerable hacks or hacks that have happened with AT&T, most of the major cell companies have had a data breach of some sort. So,
they can
it's all
get it
there.
for free, dude. They can get it for free.
So it makes you wonder, though, why would they want it? I mean, I stand by the idea that if you think big and they wanted to topple our republic,
Mhm.
you would simply come in and round up all the people that didn't vote the way that you could accept, the people that are intolerable, like Republicans, and you just kill them all.
I'm gonna give you an Occam's razor situation here. Basically the simplest solution: ballot harvesting. You go find those that have a tendency to vote Democrat because the records will show your tendency to vote, and go harvest their ballots. Go knock on their doors, get them to sign the ballots, especially in the states that legalize that, like California and New York.
Oh, you're saying you could do that before you ever actually try to take over a country? You could become a proponent of the Democrat Socialist Party and then use
Absolutely.
your operatives to go out and just round up votes, because we always know there's a lot. The voter turnout is depressingly low in this country.
Yes.
So
I mean, you got to look at it this way: an avalanche starts with a single snowflake.
It only takes a spark. Yeah, I'm with you. No, that makes sense. You just go door to door, and it makes you very efficient. I tell you
Yes.
what, because I'm at the point where if the wrong group of people or the Chinese, I'm old enough now. If they want some of it, tell them to come on and let's just slaughter them. I'm tired of it. I'm at that point.
I'm saying, I'm at a red dawn point myself.
I'm really at that point. I've lived a pretty full life, and I don't want to leave this mess for my grandkids. And if it's time to clean house, then let's do it. Knock the dust off the nukes, and let's wrap this thing up. Spoiler alert!
It's going to happen eventually.
You know, when you watch those movies, Andrew, and it's like the brave, it's usually a female, because sadly we view her as vulnerable. She finally gets away from the guy, and she grabs the kitchen knife and she stabs him, and he falls to the ground. And I always, in front of Dawn, go, stab him again and again and again. But no, she takes that opportunity to run, but she slips on the blood as he gets up.
Well, she never stabs him in the vital
Pulls
organ either.
the knife out of his clavicle.
And that's where we are in many cases.
Just time to wrap this crap up.
Absolutely.
Shoot them until the clip is empty and move on. Magazine. Sorry, it's not a clip. Yeah.
Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate it, man.
Andrew, thanks for the call always, bud. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Even a CNN writer in their post analysis of this says, that China accessing, and they call it a foreign adversary, but they don't, because CNN doesn't want to offend China.
No, they're probably
could create a real possibility of chaos on election day if that foreign actor somehow accesses live databases and starts manipulating entries. She says the U.S. has never accused China of tainting or deleting voter records, and I don't know that there's proof thereof, but we know they have spent a lot of money to try to influence voter patterns, and if they've had this information, it would explain where their spending went and where their efforts were concentrated on social media, right? I mean, they use the data. And then, but I think the scarier thing is that the president revealed last night is that members of our own government,
he calls them members of the deep state, a very, very famous group of people in many cases in our intelligence agency, worked to actively suppress and downplay information about the extent of China's election meddling. They covered it up from both the president and the American people like nobody thought was possible.
because remember, and CNN points this out, Russia and Iran were actively trying to influence the 2020 presidential election, but apparently China was very involved in that. And that might explain Hunter Biden's excursions to China, Joe Biden's excursions to China prior to that, right?
It is, though, in the effort to look at both sides of the pancake, it would be disingenuous, naive, and ignorant for us to believe that the United States, through organizations like the CIA, don't do the exact same thing in every election outside of the United States every time they get a chance. Now, to what level do they go? I don't know.
Well,
But we try to affect elections all the time.
Well, and I'll tell you what, and it backfired on Trump in Canada, because I think he thought referring to Canada as the 51st state was going to solidify support for conservatives in Canada, and it had the exact opposite effect. It galvanized Canadians' versions of Democrats, the liberal parties, and liberal voters, and they elected Mark Carney and reelected the liberal government.
Ricky
in
King,
Canada.
100% agree with your point, sir. The only semi-logical, like if you squint and want to believe it, the only semi-logical reason that the Democrats can be against the SAVE Act, the only reason that you can justify it is that they falsely claim that it is discriminatory against women who marry, and that women in this country won't be able to vote because their ID doesn't match what's on their birth certificate, and yada yada. Oh, and you've got to get a new birth certificate.
Yeah.
You've got to. It's all disinformation.
It's lies.
It's
let's
lies.
call what disinformation is.
That's
It's
right.
lying, right?
Totally agree.
But don't people change that? My wife
Yes,
changed
hey,
hers.
you
when
know
we
what?
got
The fact
married.
that you've got to do a little housekeeping in order to vote and protect our voter integrity, that ought to be something that you can do at almost no cost and be proud you did it for your country. The 80%, more than 80% in most places of Americans that say, yeah, that makes sense, man. If you've got to be an American to vote, what's wrong with whipping out your ID? You have to do it at the bank. You have to do it at the liquor
And
store.
that
You have to do it to open an
80%
account.
Crosses party lines. 86% of Americans want the SAVE Act passed.
Yeah.
80% of Americans believe our elections need to be more secure and we need more integrity in the election process. Now, if 80% of Americans actually turn up to vote,
That's right. The problem would be solved. If Americans just went and voted. I said this 10 years ago when we started this program. You got all these people that are all up in arms trying to jam religion into public sectors. They've even gone so far as to have the Supreme Court declare that, well, there really is no, in lemon law, there's no real separation of church and state. That's not what the verbiage was. I mean, the door is wide open now. And personally, to me, it's a good thing. I always try to say, what if it were the Hindus that were driving this bus? Would I be happy? And, that is a whole different scenario. But the idea that if I said it a long time ago, Christians could run this country if half the people who claim to be Christians, who are affiliated in some way with some church from when they were a kid, if those people went and voted, Christians would run this country. But the numbers are getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
well, but then you've got false prophets and Christians like James Tallarico. Do you want him running the country?
And again, why just a logical thinking, I know this is like saying jumbo shrimp, but a logical thinking Democrat doesn't see through the hypocrisy of the left does everything they can. In general, their policies are godless.
Well, and in general, facts don't seem to sway them. It seems to make them double down on the feelings they have about their positions.
Yeah, and this guy,
You know?
and Monty, I misspoke there. Women don't change their birth certificates, but they're saying that it's going to become this arduous deal. You've got to take your birth certificate, your marriage license, and prove that you are the same person that's on that birth certificate. And yet, we clearly know that the voter rolls are full of dead people. And we also know that in the 2020 election, some of those dead people voted. I don't care what percentage it was, how minuscule it was. Dead people voted.
We know there are non-citizens on the voter rolls.
That's right.
They voted. And
they don't vote Republican. And that's why if Donald Trump tomorrow said, if you will pledge to vote Republican in 28, I will give you amnesty and you can stay in this country. But we will give you a voter ID card that is red, and it will only be granted if you go and vote Republican. The left would come unhinged. But the left does the same thing every day. They try to ply. Well, we're the party that's trying to help you. We know that you're the workers.
we're the ones that gave you a hotel in the middle of Manhattan.
Right, and a cell phone, and and they do everything but say this. You know that we're the ones that take care of you because you can't take care of yourself, and we help you get the jobs that Americans won't do.
Ricky King has two good points.
Always.
If you have to have an ID to vote, wouldn't that eliminate Russia and China from interfering in our elections? No, I don't think it would. They would continue to do what they do on social media and try to influence low educated voters with the sound bites and the lies that they spread.
If you
that
could
wouldn't
get
change,
rid of
but
the mail-in ballot.
But your second part is absolutely on point.
Yeah.
The harvesting of votes would end immediately because you would no longer be able to just go collect a bunch of ballots, take them off to the drop box or to the voting station and go, here you go. Everybody would have to go to some place to vote, verify it. You never hear these third world countries who just have the ability to vote because they've never had it complain that, well, my crippled grandfather has to stand in line all day to vote. They're just happy to vote.
That's right. Americans are spoiled and lazy. But when you want to look at voter fraud, and we didn't dwell on this because it's a confusing, the state of California is so tragic that there's no reason to really study it from the blessed position of South Texas. But when they had that what's his name? Pratt. What was the guy's name that was running?
Spencer Pratt.
Spencer Pratt. He was cleanly in second, which was going to get him in the runoff. And the lady who was in third, so you had Karen Bass was leading with like 37% of the vote or whatever.
Yeah.
And Pratt was like at 33. And this other lady was like at 26. I just made those numbers up, but I'm getting in the ballpark.
For illustration purposes.
Right. Not affiliated with or involved with General Motors. And this lady who's in third is well known and outspoken as a communist. She's like, I'm a communist. I just think we need to run this city collectively. And when it's all said and done, they had a bunch of ballots come in the 11th hour. And all of them, they weren't for Karen Bass. None of them, who was the leader, statistically should have gotten 1 out of every 3 votes. None of the votes were for Pratt, who was solidly second.
Yeah, were roughly 1 point every one of every
3.
Yeah, or close to it, right?
They
2.8 should have been his.
They were all for the third place candidate at the very last minute that eliminated there's Peter McNally, eliminated Mr. Pratt from being in the runoff. Here's our friend Peter McNally. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hey, good morning. How are you guys this morning?
Good morning,
great.
Peter. We're great.
I'm getting ready to go to New York next week, so I'm gonna talk to a lot of men on the street and women on the street, see how they feel about
and
what's
give
going
us a
on.
report when you get back. I want to hear what folks up there are what the word on the street is about Zoran Mamdani. I want to know if the honeymoon is over, if the excitement has ebbed a little bit, if they've kind of studied where the money's coming from, and I'd love to get your perspective on that.
Yeah, I don't think
everybody thinks. Well, real quickly, everybody thinks that money's going to leave New York. That's a bunch of BS. People love New York, and they come there. Europeans come there. The building my brother lived in, there were 4 or 5 different people from Europe that came once or twice a year and had an apartment in New York because they could afford it. So,
but those people are now being taxed for having that apartment. They'll be taxed for having that apartment on top of the property taxes.
Property taxes. Now, wait a minute. They're paying property taxes through a co-op, what they call a co-op up there. Those are co-op buildings, and they pay the taxes through that.
Some of those people, that real small percentage, they've got so much money, Saudi princes and things, they don't care.
Don't realize it. It's unbelievable. My brother had a friend that lived on the next floor up. He was from Japan. He was there about 3 weeks a year, and he spent $1 million renovating the apartment. And he would helicopter out to Long Island every afternoon to play golf. I mean, those are people with huge sums of money.
But here's my question though, Peter. Why should they pay more tax because they have an apartment in New York that they use 3 weeks a year? Why does that give Mamdani the right to tax them more?
Oh, I don't know if that law hadn't passed.
He's going to find that out.
You're talking about 2 different things. You're talking about property tax.
No, this is an extra tax on top of the property tax.
No, wait a minute. They can't tax income tax to a man from Japan. Come on, give me a break.
They do it all the time. If you have any work.
No. Yeah. These are guys that are investors. They're probably working with American companies on some kind of deal. Who knows why? I don't know why the man was there for 3 weeks.
Are you going to take in a show while you're up there?
Am I? Oh, that's where I'm going. I'm going to see my brother's show. Won a Tony for the best revival of a musical, Ragtime. They won the Tony this year.
I knew he was very, very gifted and highly respected.
And then my brother's good friend Nathan Lane, he's playing in Death of a Salesman. They say he's one of the best. Willie Loman that's ever played the part, so I'm getting to see that.
Willie Loman, a lost soul. Oh, Willie had some issues. It's a great play.
Yeah.
Is that Tennessee Williams?
Yeah.
So you didn't know I knew all
Arthur
that, did
Miller,
you?
Tennessee Williams. I forget Arthur Miller.
Death of a Salesman. I think it was Arthur Miller.
Yeah, Arthur Miller.
Yeah.
But anyway,
he's
an unbelievable actor. My brother always said he's the hardest working man he's ever met. He
Nathan
said
Lane.
if he's paid a role 1,000 times, he still gets to the theater 20 minutes early to practice.
That's awesome.
He's that good. Yeah.
That's kind of how me and Ash do this show, Peter. You know that we
practice.
Pardon me?
Come in early. We come in early, stay late just to get this show right every day.
You can't even get here on time.
No, and I just wonder why are we still talking about this voter stuff? I mean, it's such
if you got to learn from the past, right? I'm not saying that.
No, wait a minute.
We're not talking about 2020.
How many election frauds are there in Texas? Come on. They went to the valley and what they find? 10, 20 people in nursing homes that were voting that shouldn't have been voting and things like that. I mean, you're wasting a lot of time on this stuff.
I don't know. The Duke of Duval happened to get LBJ elected, and look how that worked out.
You act like there's a massive fraud going on in voters. I disagree with that wholeheartedly.
Well, there you go.
It's a few people. Yeah, it's going to happen. Sure. I know that. Everybody agrees with that.
Well, we love you. I hope you travel safe. I hope things are good in Beaumont. Watch out for the gang activity over there. If you need me, you call me.
Well, they just had a big meeting on it. I don't know.
Yeah, we did.
Thanks, Peter. Travel safe.
Buddy.
Enjoy the show.
We'll see you soon.
I'm going to call you from New York.
Please
I'm going
do.
to call you from New York, and I'll try to find a man on the street.
Dude, please do. That'd be awesome. So you want to talk to a couple of knuckleheads in Texas? We'd love to have you. You call us. All right, buddy.
Sounds good. Thanks, Peter.
Thanks. That's Peter McNally. He's, absolutely my favorite Democrat.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a great, great gentleman. We love Peter. Let's take a quick break.
There's only one gang member in Beaumont. I guess that doesn't matter, right?
But he's a big guy. White Wing Materials, 920 Sand.
Yeah.
920 Sand.
Another local business started by other local businessmen who didn't need the government's help to get it done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Clayton Helt, Brian Rokita, White Wing Materials. They saw a need for quality soil products, dirt products.
And you know it works because they both, in their other businesses, they both need aggregates. So
Yeah.
they know the hassles
Yeah.
of getting, it's like, I need topsoil. Oh, I don't need this weed infested topsoil. I need good topsoil. So they find, excuse me, a place, and then they say, well, you know what? We've got more than we need. Well, let's sell some of it to offset our cost. It's really pretty commonsensical why they do what they do.
361-920-SAND. Give them a call, and they'll deliver too. That's
All types of gravel, all types of topsoil. Call them. Chesnick Furniture, Chesnick and Love, make your house a home. Come in this weekend. It's right around the corner from where we stand right now at the beautiful offices at 205. Go around and see Bobby Leon. Whether you need bedding, they've got Tempur-Pedic, Sealy Posturepedic. They've got Stearns and Foster. The elite brands, by the way, spoiler alert, that's like saying GMC, Chevy, and Cadillac. They're all owned by the same company, but they are all really benefiting from each other's technology. You can now get a Tempur-Pedic type pad on top of a Sealy Posturepedic mattress, those types of things.
You get ones that heat and cool.
Custom bedding. Yeah. Get by Chesnick and check out all the furniture and the
accoutrement.
Thank you.
And
sir.
they've got appliances as well.
Will the timing be as good when you're in Oklahoma?
Yeah, there might be a slight delay.
That'll give you a chance to think.
Chestnut Furniture for all your accoutrement.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, and the poignant pause. Poignant. I'm practicing for the adult early onset dementia spelling bee. I think I've got a chance. Pshaw. Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends. Let Palace entertain you this weekend with a chance to win money. They have no problem giving away over $500,000 a month. And they support 7 local charities.
So you can help support them. I would like to know why, when 80% of this country wants the SAVE Act passed, why certain Democrats are so against it. What is the point of being against something
that
if you say
provides
there's no
integrity?
evidence of voter fraud, if it'll increase integrity,
Then it
then why
affects
would
nothing.
it? Why does it matter? It doesn't affect anything.
It doesn't affect anything. If you don't
It shouldn't
believe it will
affect
affect the
anything if that's
vote,
the case, right?
that's right.
But
It
you know,
doesn't affect
deep down,
anything.
it's affecting. It will affect things.
Everybody
You know,
knows.
deep down, the ballot harvesting will end. The BS of bags of ballots being dropped off because with unverified signatures. 5 days later, they don't need the postmark or a date on them. Come on in.
Monty Howard says he'll loan me his thesaurus. That would be, was it, honestly, seriously, is it Roquettes or is it Roger? Was he French?
Roger.
It is Roger?
Yeah.
Growing up, it was always Roquettes.
But I want to switch gears to a couple local topics, because last week I was driving through Riverside Park and it looked like a damn hayfield had been cut in there.
Yeah.
I mean, the city always talks about Riverside Park being our gem.
It's a gym.
And the grass was so long, I wouldn't want my kids running through that stuff for the mosquitoes. And then when they mow it, it lays over like it's ready for the round baler to come right behind it. I mean, if this is our gem, it needs to be mowed regularly. And we haven't had enough rain that mowers couldn't get on it.
We're just saving money by selling it.
That's what.
And
they're doing,
VISD
saving
doesn't get a
money.
pass here either, because I've been driving by Howell every day and it was knee high.
Yeah, for $240 million, our schools ought to be show places. And I've got no problem. I've got no problem with the PTO actually accomplishing something.
Well, but
and
when they
maybe
try to
getting
do
together
that, they
and
get in trouble,
landscape.
remember? Yeah.
Well,
But
that's
here-
true.
You know, but here's the other thing. I'm going to get a knock on my door if my grass gets knee high and tell me I'm violating bylaws. And if I wait long enough, the city will then mow it for me and send me the bill.
Yeah.
Is it
So-
more expensive? That might be a good way to
Might
handle
be a
that.
good way to handle it.
Scott
I don't know.
Tomko says that he was recently in the park and thought the same thing.
I mean, you know,
You want civic pride, and if it doesn't start in your parks, I was very proud the other day. I drove by the Wade and Carter Memorial Water Plant right there at Airline and Ben Wilson, and the guys were out there, and I was proud of them. They were trimming things and doing things, but it's almost like no good deed goes unpunished. There's nothing less flattering than, say, if the city puts in, we have a very nice one right here. If you're coming down Main Street on the left, there's the City of 10 Friends sign, or the Street of 10 Friends sign, and it's always very well landscaped and manicured. But out there at 87 at the Loop, right there across the street from the Texan, that place needs to be a show place. I mean, every day there needs to be color, and they need to hire Matt Boucher to do a little consulting. You could do it Xeriscape. We say Zeroscape because that's a good word picture, zero, minimalist, but it's actually Xeriscape. It begins with an X. And Xeriscape is just native,
Greek for no water.
low moisture demand. I don't care if you put a bunch of cactus out there and introduce a rattlesnake to it. I don't care.
And some nice rocks.
Just needs to look good. Yeah. I don't disagree with that idea. I think the city does explore. There are things like if you're driving down the rights of way of, say, Loop 468, 63,
63.
the Loop. It ain't 610. That would be so easy to remember. That is TxDOT. TxDOT contracts literally X number of times per year. They don't just say, hey, the grass is getting cold, high, go mow it. X number of times per year, they send somebody, or they outsource. TxDOT does. They don't have mowers. They send people to mow the grass. It reflects on our city.
Yep.
So
Well, it
that's-
reflects on our state. I mean, with all the money that this state spends, I'd rather see them pay a little bit more to TxDOT or increase the TxDOT. So those guys driving those white TxDOT trucks will actually stop and pick up all the trash alongside our highways or get the tires off the road in a timely manner.
yeah.
That would be a better use of $50 billion over the last 2 years, or some of it.
I'm
than
fairly
what we've
certain
done.
Christy Thurman asked, is that the leaders of the Public Works Department responsible for the city's aesthetics?
Parks
Who's
and
the
Rec, I
country?
think.
Is it Parks
I
and
think
Rec?
so. In the Riverside Park, I think.
I
I
know
don't
Christy Euchre would know, and we can get that information from her.
I mean, I hadn't been down there for a while, and I'm like, come on. But when you wait that long to mow it and it starts to dry out, it looks trashy.
Yeah.
And you want people in the parks.
In the summertime,
Yeah.
I don't
And
it harbors mosquitoes and. So, yeah.
I don't want to walk through there. Who knows what snake's hiding underneath that long grass waiting to be.
And there are snakes in Riverside Park.
I'm sure there's no snakes.
Yeah.
No.
No, it's.
So
Well, Brian Small says, seems like a good Wade and Carter service project. Brent still has hours to work off. No, I honestly did in my quest to not be a hypocrite several years ago. I went over, there are 2 flower beds. They were that just stupid early 90s, the little, the 4x4s that are kind of the corners are routed off, and they look like they look
like railroad ties, but
timbers.
they're not.
Just stupid landscaping. And they had put this around these flower beds, and they had some evergreen type plants in there. And I went over and by myself weeded one of those and turned it and put down some mulch. And I left the other one next to it completely as it was, unmanipulated. And 2 days later, the city cleaned up the whole project. So you can just go do something and make a difference, but you shouldn't have to.
And when your tax dollars are supposed to be doing this work or paying for this work,
Yeah,
no.
no doubt.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Christy Thurman says, an interesting idea. City holds an online clinic for 30 minutes daily to receive calls from citizens about complaints. I don't disagree. I want to give a tip of the cap. I got a call the other day from Lilo Arguelles, our mentor and friend over at Magic 95.9. And did you know that I got that right this morning? Group Vidal Besos Temidos. I think that means scared kisses. Timidos. Someone, anyone, Bueller, Spanish. I called Dwayne and asked him to get in touch with Lilo about a street project that Lilo was very upbeat about. The street looks great. They put in some new curbs. But what they did was when they did put in the new curbs, they accented the fact, timid kisses. Thank you, Big Matus. They put in the new curbs, Ash, and it exacerbated the fact that there was no drain. And one of the neighbors on a beautiful new asphalt street had water up on their tires in their driveway. So our mayor, Dwayne Crocker, said, I would love to call Lilo. Send me his contact, and made the call. So hats off to, our leaders are very accessible.
Yeah, they are.
You just have to, have the courage to don't be timid with your kisses. Reach out and call them.
And the other thing locally and I meant to bring this up, not just today, but
it's old news.
No, but more and more people I've talked to in the last couple of weeks have been affected by the issues with SkyWest, United, whatever it is, at our local airport, and the fact that flights are delayed, flights are just canceled.
You got 3 flights a day? Don't give me your problems.
I'm looking at
2 flights a day.
Looking
Let's
at
go.
flightaware.com.
Right? That's cool. Look at that.
And
He got a little lost right
yeah,
there.
that's pretty cool. But the flights, the average delay for the flights out of here, regardless of the time, more than 1 hour. And
you only got 2 flights a day. It ain't that hard.
No. And then I'm looking at the past flights. Well, the 5:15, yep, departed on time. The next one, yesterday morning, nope, didn't get out of here till 9:38.
5:23,
which
the
is
next
which
day.
Is when,
9:40.
yep, on Wednesday.
5:24, 5:16, 9:37, 5:25, 9:42. It sounds like they're kind of taking a pass, like I'm going to sleep in a little bit. Kind of like me this morning.
Yeah,
12:12. There's a lot of flights.
And there's a lot of flights just canceled. And I have it on good authority a couple of weeks ago that they had a flight that was delayed here for more than 8 hours because they had a tire problem. And they had to wait for somebody to come from Dallas to change the freaking tire on the plane.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They're getting a grant to provide essential air service, and the service is so unreliable, it's no longer
essential.
And I know a lot of people who are just saying, you know what, screw it. We're not flying out of here anymore because you never know. And then what? You can't get a rental car out of Houston.
Well, what gets me is, and I'm not anybody that runs a business. Look at our buddies at White Trash Services. If they go to work one day and one of those $500,000 garbage trucks won't start, there's a backup out on the lot. It may not be the best truck. The radio doesn't work. There's no AC, but you can run that truck. I would much rather that United say, if that plane's not ready to go at 5:15 in the morning, we're going to jet a plane down there, no pun intended. It takes them literally 20 minutes of flight time if they want it to get here. I realize it's expensive because diesel is expensive. But you could land that bird here by 5:30 because the plane's not going at 5 o'clock. You just don't tell everybody there's a delay until it's time to go. There's no reason you couldn't send a backup aircraft down here and be gone by 6.
Well, because the pilot shortage, that's probably why.
Well, but you know what? These are their problems. To me, it's like when you go to a convenience store and there's 87 people in line with their stuff and only one cashier, but there's 5 cash registers. It's only a convenience store if it's
Convenient.
Convenient. Now,
But
I
actually, but the federal government caused the shortage or exacerbated the problem when they forced everybody to have a COVID shot as a pilot.
right.
And they all said, screw it, I'm not getting it. And they all retired.
Yep.
But
And
I don't know.
as Brian Small continues the pun, you'll still be paying full prop for that.
I don't know. I just it's frustrating to have and for a long time there, the service here was great. The flights they left on time, they got you into Houston, but now when you can't make your connecting flight or you land in Houston and the 10 o'clock flight just decides to cancel, and you're stuck in Houston at IAH at 10:30 at night and you can't get to Victoria, then what?
And there are millions of air miles flown in this country every day. An overwhelming percentage go off without incident. But I believe that Victoria has a disproportionate negative result. And I don't know if it's because we're just somewhat ignored by the airlines. I don't know. I know that Lenny does a great job. The airport, as far as the runways and stuff, are in good and improving condition. I just hope that I don't feel like you have a product that you're 100% sure. Now, Dawn and I've had a great look. We will fly from here to Intercontinental and then go from there to Cabo. And you've got to make that connection or your day is lost. Yeah. And we've always had good luck, but there's no doubt that it's a roll of the dice. Scott Topiker says, take care, Ash. Safe travels.
Appreciate that.
Everybody, Ash will be here Monday morning. Do not worry. Do not fret.
Show must go on.
You're not stuck.
I don't have an understudy yet.
That's right. Folks, we love you. Hope you have a great weekend. Be safe on the roads. If you need them, dial 578-6300, Allen's Record Service. Thank you, Atzenhofer, for all you do for over 100 years of South Texas tradition. Goodbye, folks.
Bye, folks.